Have you ever wanted to sew a blind hem instead of having to do it by hand? We're working through all the videos on the Singer Elite CE677, but if you have a Singer sewing machine, you will find that this foot is a very standard blind hem foot to go with the blind hem stitch. So the stitch actually kind of stitches down and then bounces to the left, and I'm going to show you how you fold your fabric. How do you adjust your foot to get the perfect blind hem? And yes, once you do this a couple times, it actually becomes pretty easy. Now I am going to do it with the pink thread I have in, so you can kind of see what we're looking at. And what we're talking about, if you're not familiar with what a blind hem is, if you've looked at any slacks or a very nice a skirt or something, and you see those little kind of tick marks on the fabric at the hem, that's what we're able to do. So what we do is we start by folding the fabric so it actually is the finished length the item needs to be. Next, what you want to do is you need to fold this back. So you kind of create this little hinge. So as the stitch stitches, it's going to go down and then bite into this fold, down and bite. And the smaller the bite, the less the stitch shows on this side. So part of, again, the perfection is using the blind hem foot and also getting it lined up so it perfectly gives you the same stitch all the way down the entire hem. Now, the machine does not know what thickness of fabric we're using. So the first time that you do this, what you want to do is just take your foot and set it down on the fabric. Now, what I'm going to do is hand turn the hand wheel until my needle swings to the left. Yes. So here we go. A couple stitches. There's the swing to the left. After it swings, hover the needle just right above the fabric. Next, lift up the foot and move the fabric left or right so that when this comes down and you lower the needle, it will come into the little fold. You need just enough of the bite to catch. So let me kind of come back a little bit. And once it catches, sink the needle down. At that point, you can adjust this guide with the screw right here to be right next to the fold of the fabric. Now, if we just keep our eye right here at the beginning of the foot, while you stitch, every time it jumps over to the left, it is taking the exact same bite that you set it up to take. Some fabrics you need a bigger bite, lighter weight fabrics you need a smaller bite. But let's just go ahead and see what it looks like. When you lift it up, bring it out and cut the thread. So this is what it looks like. When you open it up, you'll have those little tiny tick marks that are holding that in place. Now, remember, I used contrasting thread so you can see it. Otherwise, I would have had cream thread in here and you wouldn't have seen this at all. Now, if these are a little on the large side for when you've done it the first time, you can always just move the fabric a little bit so it's not taking as deep of a bite into that fold. Sometimes on finer fabrics, I recommend using a smaller needle, so it takes a smaller bite, but you can adjust everything so you can get it to run exactly where you want. And did you see how even those stitches were? That's because the guide helped me stay right even with the fold all the way down. So that's why the blind hem foot is important to use when you do a blind hem stitch. If you want these a little further apart, you can lengthen out the stitch length and it'll put a little bit more gap between there. But all in all, that's what and how easy it is to sew a blind hem. We're working through all the videos of the Singer machines, and then that way you can really master this machine from start to finish. You'll find a playlist link at the end of this video, or you will find one in the description below, whichever is easiest for you. And you can back up to the beginning and start binge watching these videos, learn all my tips and tricks about using a sewing machine to its fullest and doing it correctly the first time. I hope you're enjoying sewing on your new machine.